We are live here tonight at the virtual World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, where tonight we have the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Northern Capital Truck Series for race 14, or the fourth race in the chase. This is not only the biggest race of the chase, but definitely the biggest race of the season. Everybody wants to win at Daytona. Tonight, I'm on the mic. My name is Gary Wells alongside Colin Hudson. Joshua Medlock is going to be doing some camera work for us tonight. But this is really going to be a big race. We're going to see a lot of big packs, and not only a lot of big packs, we're going to see these top 12 championship contenders in survival mode. But Colin, tonight we're at Daytona. What are your thoughts coming into this race?
It's very important to just be patient and be careful, especially early on, because one mistake can end your night really quick at Daytona. I know it better than anyone.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Definitely one little slip up can really take out an entire pack. Well, I know we've got team points and we've got driver points to go over, but first I want to hit on the pre-race analytics. We've got mostly cloudy skies with an air temp of 68 degrees with a track temp at 70. Going to be a lot of grip in this racetrack here tonight. The fuel window, we are looking at about 25 to 30 laps. Could be more, could be a little less. Just kind of depends on how these drivers are racing. And then the tire window really doesn't matter a whole lot here at Daytona, so we just did some guesstimation of about 50 to 60 laps here or so tonight. But we've got 90 laps, 225 miles here this evening. We've got the pit speed here at 60 mile an hour and the pace car speed here at 80. But Colin, definitely that pit road speed, especially if we have green flag pit stop speed 60 miles an hour, that's going to be tough for these guys to handle.
Yeah, when you're slowing down, you have to be really careful not to have any tire hopping, because that'll get you loose real quick, and most commonly your car will spin to the left and you'll hit that pit road interior wall, and that'll definitely end your night, or at least set you back quite a bit with a couple minutes of repairs that you'll have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. One false move here, one big slip up on pit road. Not only could it end your night, but it could definitely end some others if you're pitting with a big pack. But tonight, let's go over our chase standings. This is officially after Phoenix ISM Raceway. Last week, round 13, round 3 of the chase. Looks like here, Cale Gale is going to be our point leader still with 1,141. The second place is going to be Willie Nelson. He's got 1,134. The third place, we've got Jacob Bell up 4 spots from last week. He's our biggest mover of our chase contenders with 1,110. And then in fourth place, we've got Dwayne Dunn. He's got 1,103. And in fifth, we've got Brody Hayes with 1,099. And rounding out our top 6, we've got 1,093. Colin, you got 7 through 12?
Yes, I do. In seventh place, you got Curtis Vollmer with 1,092 points. Went up 1 position last race. In eighth place, you got Nolan Neiman with 1,083 points. He dropped 3 points in the last race. In ninth place, 1,080 points, you got Cody McFadden, who dropped 6 positions. Following up him, you got Timothy Zayas, 1,076 points in 10th place. 11th place, GT Hawkins, 1,065 points, and in 12th place, rounding out the chase, you got 1,017 points with William Hartman.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, talk about these trucks here at Daytona, Colin. Definitely very unique compared to, say, a Cup car here at Daytona. With these trucks being so big and bulky, they really do punch a big hole in the air.
They definitely do punch a big hole in the air, and the side draft really has a much bigger effect here than you'd expect it to. More so going to compare to the Xfinity series on that, but due to the big spoilers on these trucks, like you'll see in the Cup series, the hole they punch in the win is just huge. And with that said, if you go up to someone with that side draft on their rear quarter panel, it'll slow them down quite a bit and allow you to propel past them. It's one of the best ways to get a pass done here at Daytona, typically heading into turns 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. If the line's single file and they're staying up high, you have the opportunity to dive low, get that side draft on, slow them down, and hopefully slide up in front of them, as you'll see in the Cup Series on TV all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Side draft definitely going to be one of the big factors. Patience is definitely one, and ultimately survival for our top 12 here this evening. Well, we've got a little bit of time here. before we hit qualifying. So I just want to take a minute to pause here. Let's go ahead and play our national anthem, and we'll be back here to wrap up practice and then go into qualifying.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran the bomb busting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the frame, and the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to invade the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the frame, in the
All right, and we are back from the national anthem. Madison Rising, of course, with that national anthem always does a fantastic job. But now we're kind of in the stages here qualifying. Just started about 40 seconds ago. These guys get 5 minutes to put down 2 hot laps. And then after that, they do have a driver's meeting. And of course, we don't pull anybody up during the driver's meeting, but we're going to get to see some trucks go around this racetrack. But Colin, do you mind taking a couple seconds here? Just kind of break down, how does qualifying really work at a plate track like Daytona?
Well, at Daytona, what you'll do on your first lap typically is you'll exit out of pit road, as we're actually watching the 37 car do right now. Obviously, it'll stay below that yellow line, so you get to the blue cone, then you can exit out onto the track. And what you're going to do is you're going to go high, and you're going to spend your first lap running up high, building up as much speed as you can before coming down low and holding your truck as low to the yellow line as you can. Of course, not going below the yellow line. And then obviously just get the best lap time you can. Your goal is to not get loose, not hit the apron at all, not hit anything that slows your truck down, because qualifying times are very tight at a track like Daytona because it's a plate track.
Yeah, absolutely. A plate track, all these times are going to be really close together. And you kind of mentioned it. You really have to have that steady hand with the wheel when you do a qualifying run here.
Absolutely. If you don't have it, it can be really difficult for you. Some drivers excel at a restrictor plate track, and some drivers don't. And it'll definitely be evident as we get going here later on.
Yeah, absolutely. We always kind of talk about Daytona and Talladega being the great equalizer here. Usually with the draft, but what kind of skill? People just think, oh, they just run wide open 200 mile an hour the whole time, but what kind of skill does it take to run at a place like Daytona?
So the only way I'd say that Daytona is easy is your car having speed, and aka the equal playing field. That's really the only thing that plays into your arms as far as anything being easy. Daytona is actually a very difficult track. A lot of drivers dread this track because of how difficult it can be to survive to the end of the race. One little mistake, and you're taking yourself and a whole bunch of people out. And you have to strategize a lot to get a pass done here, as I was saying before this. Sometimes you have to come down to a side draft, and side draft's a really touchy thing. You get too close, you hit their quarter panel, they could go around. They can save it, but they could go around. That could cause a big wreck and turn that around on yourself as the driver. People are going to be coming to side draft you, and they hit you wrong, it's going to take out. And that's only the beginning. It's only the tip of the iceberg. You're going to be getting shoved and pushed at 180, 190 miles an hour, trying to keep your car under control, 2, 3 wide sometimes. And one mistake, not one that causes a wreck, but just a mistake, and you can get shoved out of line and fall back very quickly. Outside of the draft, you're 10, 15 miles an hour off the pace. I've certainly, in my experience, gone from the front to the back, and the back to the front, and the front to the back again, because it can all happen so quickly at Daytona. It's not as easy as it looks. Those cars bounce around a lot. You got to be on the wheel, and you got to be ready for every single bump. As you know, these iRacing tracks are laser scanned. Before the repave, there was a huge bump coming in, actually right where he is right now, and that bump would shake your car violently entering 1 and 2, and you could lose control over it just like that. So there's a lot of stuff that plays into it. It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you kind of was talking about it with bumping and a little bit of banging here with the side draft if you're not careful, but talk about, bump drafting a little bit. That definitely plays a big role here in how these guys go in a straight line and go pretty fast. What about the bumpers? Do you have to be pretty careful with that, or are they just kind of locked together?
So bump drafting, it's an art. Now, what I will say with the Truck Series in comparison to the Cup Series, in the Cup Series, you may have heard many times in iRacing and NASCAR, real Cup racing, the Camaro, for example, had that pointed nose, and they'd hit each other wrong, and it could spin you around. Now, luckily, in the Truck Series, looking between these Tundras and Silverados, they both have pretty flat bumpers, so they can push each other pretty nicely, but the catch is you have to hit them in the right place in the bumper. If your truck's halfway offset of their rear bumper when you tap into it, you can spin them out just like that, even though there was no one pushing him. It works just like that. It's really easy for it to happen, so you have to be ready for it. Bump drafting also is kind of how you get speed. If you don't push, I mean, you can sit there and just breathe that throttle as you're coming to the bumper of a driver and hope for the best, and you'll hold pace, but it takes pushing to get up there and get the job done. It takes some really aggressive pushing. Typically, you'll not want to push in the turns, because that'll get a car really unhappy and unsettled with the air going around it and the lack of downforce, and because you're turning on a 35-degree bank or whatever the exact degree is. Bump drafting's another art. Like I said, none of this is as easy as it looks. You got to hit the bumpers right, and you got to be ready to receive a push. Even when you get hit on the bumper, flat, straight, perfect. Even on a backstretch, a straight part of the track, your car, you feel it lift off the ground in the steering wheel, and you feel it get a little loose and kind of feel like it doesn't have much gravity pushing down on it or air, because when you get that push, it takes some of the air off your rear spoiler, off your car, and angles it different ways, and you feel a lot of things in these cars when it happens. So not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Well, qualifying just wrapped up, and I definitely want to touch on this a little bit, especially for our chase contenders. The top 12 in qualifying, new rule this season. The top 12 in qualifying, they all get a bonus point just by showing up and qualifying well. Looks like a couple of our chasers that are really close to each other, Brody Hayes, Willie Nelson. These guys, they have gotten themselves one extra point. Jacob Bell, he's third in points. He qualified sixth here tonight. So everybody here in the top 12, they all get 1 point. But now we've got some team points here to talk about. I'll just go over all of them here this evening. And now these were updated, the overall standings as of last night after the K&N race at Watkins Glen. Our overall team points leader, we've got Samson Motorsports. They've got 4,056. Pulling away ever so slightly from our field here, but second place we've got Primetime Motorsports with 36.22, and third place we've got Performance Motorsports with 35.51. Then we've got the VRA Virtual Racing Alliance in fourth with 33.15. Fifth place is Hyperdrive. They've got 32.23. Sixth place we've got Performance Motorsports with 31.63. The seventh place we've got Jacob Bell Racing with 30.80. Eighth place we've got Maverick Motorsports with 27.14, and then rounding out the overall team standings, we've got ninth place with Downforce Motorsports with 22.07. And then, of course, we have the standings here for just the trucks, and they are led by Primetime as well. Or no, they're led by Primetime, not Samson. They've got 782. In second place, we've got Hyperdrive with 767. Then in third place, we've got Samson with 743. In fourth place, we've got Performance Motorsports with 737. The Maverick Motorsports in fifth with 691. And then JBR, Jacob Bell Racing, they've got 680. And seventh place, we've got Performance Motorsports with 667. And then in eighth place, we've got the VRA Virtual Racing Alliance with 422. And then Downforce rounding it out with 341. The team champion will be crowned after the fifth race of the Cup Series chase after Homestead here next week. That's when we'll get to see the team champion, which I know I try not to call it out and, make these kind of predictions very early here, but I really do think Samson has really got it locked up this year. They've been really dominant in pretty much every series they've entered, so they've got it pretty much locked up at the moment. But they're the drivers here still going through the drivers meeting. I do believe it looks like they haven't really gone away yet. Well, it looks like they have. They're starting to dissipate a little bit. Let's try to pull up our pole sitter here this evening. It's going to be Jarrett Lipstruer starting on the pole. Jared Lipstruer, Gary Wells in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, sir.
Well, we see that you were one of the lucky ones here tonight, starting on the pole with the 51.82. Just kind of talk about it here, man. You put down a really good lap.
I went out there thinking I was going to get maybe third. No, came out with the first. I'm glad to be by Brody Hayes and Willie, two guys I know. My brother's not too far back. Hopefully we can all work together and help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like you guys, even though you're not going for the official team standings, it looks like quite a few of you guys on the same similar smaller team. 1, 2, 3 starting out, and then of course Cody's not far behind. They're in seventh spot. But just kind of what's y'all's game plan? It looks like y'all qualifying up front. Do you plan to stay up there, or are you just gonna let the race feel out for itself?
We're going to try to stay up there as much as we can, but if we fall back, we fall back. But we're going to try to stay up there as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will let you go ahead and go back to where you need to be, and you enjoy the race, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, sir. Have a good race.
Will do. Thanks a lot. But yeah, guys, that is Jarrett Lipstruer. He'll be starting on the pole here this evening. Looks like we've got a little bit of time. It looks like as we see the drivers' meeting coming to a close, let's go ahead and pull up another driver here.
You get forced below.
Logan Keiss, Gary Wells in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Well, we're here at Daytona, of course, your home track, or one of your home tracks here in the state of Florida. Starting 11th tonight, you get that bonus point. Just kind of talk about it. Were you thinking to get the pole and just didn't have enough, or how was your lap there tonight?
Well, we tried, man. I a couple times forgot to move my brake bias back. And yeah, I tried. I gave it the best I could. I'm notorious for not qualifying well here. It's pretty easy but hard track to qualify at the same time. But qualified towards the top 10, so I'll be row 6, I believe.
Yeah, it's inside row 6.
Inside row 6, so that's going to go to plan. If I couldn't get the pole, I'm going to probably try to drop to the back, but we're out here for one thing and one thing only. We're here to win the race tonight, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you definitely aren't in the chase, so you definitely have that mentality of let's go out and spoil it, get some points here, and definitely finish higher up than where you are currently. But it looks like you've got your downforce teammates there tonight with Casey Duncan and Brandon Freeze all kind of there near each other. So you all three of you plan on working together? Kind of what's your plan going into this race?
We haven't really talked about it, to be honest. We've just been down there shooting it, just talking about stuff that's going on, just trying to go pretty relaxed into the race tonight. So figure that's probably the easiest way to get 90 laps out of the way, is just relax.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll let you go down there. You have fun tonight, and hopefully we get to talk to you soon.
Yeah, man, thanks for everybody who's tuning in.
Okay, I put him in the right place. That's good. All right. So yeah, that's really we get to see kind of a little bit of differing strategies. Everybody kind of having the same thing, Colin, just wanting to go in there relaxed and just kind of see how the race plays out.
Yeah, I think I'd personally go and relax, wait it out, take it easy at the beginning of the race, and work towards it as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of our chasers here, kind of a bigger name, our point leader tonight, elected not to qualify, Cale Gale. He's going to be starting towards the rear of the field tonight. But Colin, we heard Logan talking about it a couple minutes ago with the brake bias and moving that back. Does that really even help you at Daytona?
I find it too. So, well, moving it back, moving it around certainly helps. Me personally, I tend to keep it forward. Especially for doing green flag pit stops, which me personally, as a driver, I look forward to those green flag pit stops because it really separates the men from the children. It shows you who's able to lock those tires up, not spin out. Like I said earlier, you hit it wrong, you hop those tires, you'll hit that inside wall, but you got the brake bias set right. It will help you out a little bit with getting in pit road and not spinning out, because more of your brakes will be coming from the front than the back, so it allows those back tires to slide a little more and potentially not wheel hop as much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're kind of wrapping things up here in qualifying tonight, obviously. We're getting ready to go into this race. We've got a little bit of time. Colin, I know this is your first race here with Extreme as far as the broadcasting side goes, but you got to pick a particular, anybody that you're kind of looking at as maybe a favorite?
I haven't made a decision yet. When I'll probably make that decision is probably about 15 laps into the race. So ask me again then, and I will have picked out a driver that I think is going to perform really well here. Because there's a couple things I'm going to want to look at that you can't really notice in a practice or qualifying session. I just want to see how other drivers are behaving with the struggles that you'll experience at a stricter blade track, like when other people side draft you, when you get hit wrong on the bumper. With the drivers who are controlling those negativities the best are the drivers who I think will ultimately do the best, luck prevailing. Obviously, Daytona is a little bit of a luck track of making it through the big ones. The guy who was on, who mentioned, or Cale, who was thinking about who didn't qualify to start out back, that's always a smart, not always, but it's sometimes a smart decision to do that. As well, if you're in back, you know what you can do? You can see everything before it happens and hopefully not get run over from behind by someone who didn't see it happen. So it can be a smart strategy. It's a long race. Got a lot of laps to mess around with. So, just play it smart. And there's different strategies. You can take whatever one you want, but
Well,
everyone
now,
has their...
hear me out here. We got a lot of people in chat. They already made their picks here. And if you got a pick, go ahead and drop it in the chat there. But these guys, we don't care. Go ahead, just pick somebody out of a hat. They ain't gonna kill you. Pick a driver, any driver.
Me pick someone out of the hat.
Oh yeah, go ahead. We got 30-some trucks here to work with, 20-some trucks here.
Think I should pick a second driver, or should I go with the driver I chose
Just
for the
pick
personal
one.
one?
One driver. That's all you get. One pick. You can't change it during the race. They'll give you a hard time for that.
I'll pick Cale.
All right, he's picking Cale.
That way I have two drivers I've picked. I have one between us, one with them. So
All
I'm going to
right,
give Cale a pick because he's taken a strategy that I personally like to take. We're just starting out back. Sometimes I'll qualify at Daytona just to fall back in the pack anyways down the back stretch on the first lap. So I like that strategy. It's a safe strategy. A lot of wrecks happen early on, and the only lap that counts at Daytona is the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've already got one other pick. I know Josh already dropped it in chat, but I'll just say it out loud here. Josh is going to pick Logan Keiss. We just interviewed him a little bit ago in the 11th spot. Going to be rolling off 11th here tonight. And I am going to pick. Man, I race in these trucks. You figure I know who I would pick already. Let's go with. We're going to go with our pole sitter, fastest man in Daytona, Jarrett Lipscher. Why not? But yeah, that's going to be my pick for this evening. We kind of already talked about our top 12, but I definitely want to run the names by y'all again for this evening, just to give you guys an idea of who's racing and who to be watching for. But we've got Cale Gale, of course, our point leader. Second place, Willie Nelson. Third place, Jacob Bell. Fourth place, Dwayne Dunn. Fifth place, Brody Hayes. Sixth place, Garrett Heath. Seventh place, Curtis Vollmer. Then, of course, we've got Nolan Neiman, Cody McFadden, Timothy Zayas, all 7th through 10th, respectively. 11th place, we've got GT Hawkins, and, of course, William Hartman. And I'm trying to see if William Hartman is on the list here tonight. I don't see him in here, and I don't see GT either. So it looks like really our top 10 guys are going to be the ones to watch for here. But we got a little bit of time. I'm going to pull up one more driver. Colin, you got anyone particular I should pull up? Want me to pull up your pick, Cale Gale?
I say either pull up Cale or pull up Zay. One or the other.
All right, and I'll do the interview. Let's go ahead. We'll pull up Timothy Zayas. Why not? Timothy Zayas, Gary Wells in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you, Gary. How's it going, bud?
Well, it's going pretty good. We're seeing you here. You are qualified 16th. Looks like you're kind of leaning towards the back end here of our field tonight. Just kind of what's your plans? How do you feel about Daytona coming into this race?
I feel pretty good. I mean, kind of nerve-wracking. I'm probably gonna hang out in the back, probably the first, I don't know, half of the race and feel it out and see how it is. I know it's probably gonna get crazy and hectic like it always does at super speedways, so makes for a good time to race. Oh, I know it's good for you guys to broadcast. It's really, really fun to watch. I like watching them. But yeah, I didn't qualify that well, and we'll just see where it goes. But I'm pretty confident in super speedway racing the way I do it. I like it, so we'll see.
I agree
Yeah,
with that
absolutely.
waiting out back.
Yeah, absolutely. Waiting out back is definitely going to be a key here tonight, Tim. But definitely, for sure, we'll be watching for you. You're definitely one of our chasers. So, definitely we'll watch you here, and hopefully you have a good run here tonight.
All right, thanks. You boys have fun up there.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yep.
All right, and that was Timothy Zayas. So let me go ahead. I'll run by our top 12 in qualifying again before we line up for the grid here this evening. Of course, we've got Jared Lipscher already on pole. Brody Hayes, he'll be starting second there in the 37. Then we've got Willie Nelson there in the third spot. Fourth place, Ron J. Miller. Fifth place, Nolan Neiman. Sixth place, Jacob Bell. Looks like seventh place here, Cody Lipscher. Yes, they are related. Eighth place, we've got Darren Bruce. Ninth place, Jeff Glockner. 10th place, Paul Urban. 11th, of course, we've already interviewed him, Logan Keiss. And then rounding out our top 12, those guys that get that bonus point tonight here, Garrett Heath. So a lot of good, solid guys up here in the top 12. I know a couple names we don't typically see often up toward the front. Definitely Jeff Glockner, Nolan Neiman. These guys definitely probably going to play more of that upset role here tonight. Because like you said, Colin, the draft, Daytona, Talladega definitely brings on a different kind of racing.
Absolutely. The underdog can win at Daytona. It's very possible, and it can happen. It's a great place for upsets. I can't remember the name of the driver off the top. Justin Haley upset in the Coke 0400 last season. No one thought he was going to win in that rained-out race, and somehow he won. So an underdog can always win a race at Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and hit up our starting grid as these guys are going to start gridding here for this race here this evening. I've got the top 10. Logan, Colin, you'll take 11 through 20, and then so on and so forth. All right, so first place here tonight, of course, we already talked about him. Jared Lipscher, he's going to be our pole sitter with a 51.820. Then in second place, we've got Brody Hayes in the 37. Third place, we've got Willie Nelson here. He's going to be in the 20 car. Then in fourth place, we've got Ron J. Miller. Fifth place, Nolan Neiman. Sixth place, Jacob Bell. Seventh place, Cody Lipscher. Eighth place, Darren Bruce. Ninth place, Jeff Glockner. And rounding out the top 10 is Paul Urban.
In 11th place, we got Logan Keeves. 12th place, we have Gareth Heath. 13th, got Bradley Weitzel. 14th, we're going to have Orlando Rivera. 15th, going to be Casey Duncan. Following him up, Timothy Zayas in 16th. Brandon Fry is going to be behind in 17th. We got Tommy Imasi in 17th. We got Cale Gale in 19th. I don't do this often, I mess this up. Dwayne Dunn in 20th. Curtis Vollmer.
Well, you're doing a good
21st.
job. We'll cut you right
Nick
there,
Hunt in
20th.
27th.
22nd, Nick Hunt, he's going to be one of our admins this evening. 13th place, we've got Mike Franklin. 24th place, we've got Michael Atkins Jr. 25th, Danny Ware. 26th, Shad Curran. 27th, Randy Perdue. And 28th, we've got Joshua Gillian. And 29th, we've got Andrew Jump. And 30th, we've got Cody McFadden. And 31st, we've got Scott Brooks. And then another admin here for this evening is going to be Don Kidder. He's going to be starting shotgun. Daytona, man, we're going to be starting here double file for this race. Just kind of what are your thoughts here, Colin, as you're coming to your debut? Just kind of what are you going to be watching here for in these first couple of laps?
In the first couple laps, I'm going to be watching for people who aren't patient enough and make some risky maneuvers a little too early, and I'm going to see how they work out.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we can't forget about our sponsors here this evening. All green flags are going to be sponsored by the All Paws Animal Hospital. They are located in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. And then, of course, last but not least, we do have a white flag sponsor, and that is Lodgebox. And for them, for all your building and construction needs across the Southeast United States, visit lodgebox.build. Build with us. Yeah, we definitely got these guys side by side coming here through turns 1 and 2, about to head down the long back stretch at a slow speed here tonight of 80 miles an hour. Next time by, though, they will not be going that slow. They'll probably be going about 160, 170 miles an hour.
Absolutely. You get up to speed quick here at these tracks with that drafts.
Absolutely. Well, these guys are coming down here, coming down the back stretch now through 3 and 4. Any quick final thoughts here as we take the green?
I'm just ready for them to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be a good one here this evening. Again, round 14 of the overall season, round 4 of the chase here this evening. Next week wraps it all up at Daytona. We've still got Josh. He's not feeling too good, but he's going to give it a shot. He's going to go ahead and do our boogity as we get ready to go racing. Driver, what's that thing they always say coming through turns 3 and 4? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time as the pace car is going to dive off to the safety of pit road.
Jarrett Lipster going to be in control here tonight. Let's get this round 4 going. He is on the loud pedal. Boogity, boogity, boogity. We're racing here at Daytona.
Good job, Josh. Even though you're sick as a dog, thank you very much. We got these guys already amongst our top 5. A single file, they have left Ron Miller out to dry here at the start of this race. He's going to try to dive down here. Looks like he's going to have enough room to get behind Jacob Bell. Already, these guys showing a lot of patience as we get through 2 corners and coming down the long back straightaway.
The best thing to do is to be patient and be smart. As you can see, the 23s fall into the back of the pack, most likely strategically.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see some of these guys falling back. Looks like Paul Urban in the 88. He's doing the same kind of move here. Of course, we're seeing these guys 2 wide, 3 wide here in some parts of this pack as these guys are trying to follow it out.
Working with that upper line here, probably just to try to be safe about it, but also not fall too far back.
Yeah, absolutely, because when you lose that draft here, we're definitely going to see these top 10 as they're getting kind of squirrely up here a little bit already.
That would be what I talked about.
These guys are going to try to stay up here and go for the lead early. Jacob Bell we see already in the 4th spot, 3rd spot now, just trying to get up to that lead spot. But we're definitely going to start to see these guys probably after the top 12, 15 or so. That'll be the tail end, and then we'll see a second pack developing. It looks like it's being led already by Casey Duncan in the 14th spot.
Looks like it.
But yeah, these guys are definitely trying to work it out. Looks like we've got Brandon Fries and Casey Duncan working it out. These are teammates. They drive for Downforce Motorsports. These guys trying to lead the second pack, but also try not to lose the first pack. So you're definitely going to see these guys nose to tail. And we see that a lot here at Daytona, but we're also going to have to make sure these guys are paying attention to their temperatures.
Yeah, your temperature can spike really quickly, especially when you're pushing. So you got to be careful with that, because push a little too long, you get that car too hot, you get engine damage, you're not going to win the race no matter what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. It could definitely cause some engine damage, and of course, you know, we could see some different kind of tempers. Maybe some drivers getting a little bit hot early on in this race if they get taken out by the big one early. But it looks like so far so good. We're through 3 laps. Everybody pretty much single file except for the 77 of Jacob Bell and the 35 of Ron Miller. But it looks like we might have some 3 wide here in the very back of the field with Nolan Neiman. At least I thought I saw him back here in the middle of a 3 wide situation.
Yeah, sometimes
no,
you
I'm
go
just
3
kidding.
wide to make a quick pass. I didn't see it myself, although they were almost 3 wide just then.
Well, they were, it was a turquoise car there in the back. I thought it was Nolan, but to my ignorance, he is up front. He's in the 6th position.
Oh, he's doing a little better than we thought. As you can see, the
Yeah,
right turn was 3.
Yeah, these guys going through turns 3 and 4 once again. Pretty much, like I said, they're all kind of stringing out here, riding toward the back. Looks like Shad Curran's getting a little bit of help here from that 23 truck of Garrett Heath. These are not teammates, but, you know, you kind of find your friends where you find them at these places, don't you?
At Daytona, you make your friends where you make them. Your enemy can be your friend at Daytona. Now, one thing I'd like to point out here, looking at this 88 car, now he does have that draft in front of him that's helping him out from those 2 cars. But you can use a side draft quite a bit there to keep yourself in contention when you're one of the only cars running outside the line, which is what he seems to have been doing for at least a lap there. I just wanted to point that out, as this is a fun fact about another thing you can do with that side draft, because the cars will check up a little bit, as you can see the 24 there, try to grab some fresh air, and that gives someone an ability on the upper line to get a draft off them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Side draft and a little bit of front end draft as well. But definitely we're seeing these guys. The air acts completely different when you're leading that pack, like we see Jarrett Loopster and Jacob Bell leading that inside and outside line respectively. But also the air acts a little bit different when you're in the pack as well.
It does. The air can be honestly pretty violent sometimes when there's a lot of cars doing a lot of different stuff. You can push a car up without actually touching them. That's how crazy the air can be in these cars.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with these trucks big
One
and
down the apron back there.
yeah, it looks like we've got Timothy Zayas on the apron back here. Looks like he's maybe trying to fall back, maybe not.
That would be
but
what it looks like. I think that might have been it. Probably falling back. Maybe something risky happened up there. Something sketchy. Didn't want to quite be involved with it and risk having his day end early. That can be a smart decision to make, but sometimes one of the things that can happen here when you fall back, as you can see the second pack falling back from the first pack, is you can lose that draft and you can keep falling back. And if you get a long green run, you can potentially go lap down, or if it's green flag pit stops, you're not going to be at much of an advantage. So it's a double-edged sword. Pretty much everything in restrictor plate racing is. You see them start to split up there on that backpack.
yeah, it looks like here in this backpack there is about a 5-second gap between the 16th place truck of Michael Atkins and then 15th place here with Brandon Freeze. So these guys really have fallen all the way back. They can still see them. They're about a turn ahead of them. But these guys really definitely taking the time here to fall back here early. Maybe they're anticipating another wreck here. But it looks like pretty much everybody except for Shad Kern in that 93 pretty much staying single file.
Yep, and up front, looking the same way. Ooh, that was a risky move there by that 88 car. Judging those things, you got to be good with it. And he did a good job there threading the needle between those 2 cars and get back down to that bottom line before losing too much track position from not having any draft to help him out there. But the front pack does seem to be going single file here, which is a smart way to do it early on in the race, aside from 2 cars up there up front. Oh, they're starting to split a little bit, but for the most part, staying single file down low.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying single file down low. And as we see Jarrett Lipster, he's trying to pull a little bit of what we see here in real NASCAR and on iRacing all the time.
Controlling both lines.
Trying to control both lines. Doesn't do the greatest job there. As we see Brody Hayes, he's going to come in here and he's going to lead this lap. But definitely that's one of the things that you have to master, another art, so to speak, is learn how to block both lines and knowing when to do it and when not to do it.
The one thing I'll point out right here, now, under some circumstances, when he jumped up there, it would have been a good idea. However, why I wouldn't have if I was in his shoes was that upper line only had 2 cars on each other at that point. So they were likely going to run out of their run before they were able to get far enough past him to actually make the pass if he stayed down low. But, you know, you learn it's Daytona. You can follow the back and come back to the front pretty quickly. As you can see there, he could have gone low, but he's chosen to commit to this high line here as they are too wide up front.
Well, these guys are teammates here. The 99 of Jarrett Lipscher and then, of course, Brody Hayes. They are teammates, so maybe Brody was running a little bit hot there, so Jarrett was like, hey, team orders, I'll go ahead and move up to the top here and let you cool off a little bit. That could definitely be a possibility.
Very well could be. As temperatures, as we were saying earlier, you overheat your car and you're going to a real dampener on your day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're about a third of the way through this fuel run. We already kind of talked about it, how tires really don't matter much, but green flag pit stops, if they do occur here, do you take any tires at all this first stop, or are you just kind of looking for a splash and go and fill it back up with fuel?
I'd most likely, with this first stage, it would kind of depend on where I was in the pack. If you're taking a whole bunch of fuel, a full tank, you can probably grab tires as well. If you're playing a strategy of sorts, banking on a caution or whatever else, and you want to take just a splash of fuel, then you'll completely skip the tires altogether. Tires are probably the least important at Daytona out of all the tracks. You can run tires for a long time. One of my wins at a restrictor plate track came on who knows how old tires, but I'll tell you, they were old. And you feel it, but you don't lose too much speed over it, and you can make a lot of positions up by having only a 10-second pit stop versus a 13-second pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with these guys here going about a football field per second. These guys covering 120 or so yards just in that length amount of time. Pretty much in the blink of an eye, these guys are already going through, a turn already. That's how fast these guys are going here at Daytona.
Yeah, it is about a football field a second. They're going fast, that's for sure. And like we were saying earlier, you make a mistake, everything happens really quick. You only got milliseconds to really correct anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been kind of watching my eye here on this second pack. Looks like Cale Gale really being the hard charger here behind Danny Ware and these guys. These guys just hanging out in the back. I think you're right. They're just waiting for that caution to happen or something here. These guys have actually lost quite a bit of time. They're now almost 13 seconds behind our leader and about 11 seconds to the back bumper there of Brandon Freeze there in 15th spot.
I was just looking at that myself, and it was what I was talking about earlier. One of the risks of going with that second pack is that you can lose a lot of ground. Me personally, I'll try to go to the back of the first pack because there you can deal with whatever wrecks might happen up front. It's a little bit more risky. However, you aren't going to have to worry about going a lap down. If green flag pit stops happen here, one of them could come in for a 3-second pit stop, just splash fuel, and all these drivers up front could grab 4 tires and fuel, and that second pack would still most likely not retain or get the lead back.
Yeah, absolutely, because things do happen here in a hurry at Daytona, and especially how you get on pit road and how you get off is definitely key here as well. Just kind of talk about that. What's your feeling about going into pits? Obviously not speeding, of course, and of course it could be tempting to speed coming out of pit road as well.
Well, there's a bunch of different strategies. For one, if you're keeping your tires, then you can't lock them up as much as you might if you're grabbing new tires, so you have to keep that in mind. So you'll probably lose about a second or two on your approach into pit road if you plan to keep your old tires. However, if you're coming in for new ones, you can go in there with as much speed as you want. When we circle back around, I'll point out where the area of pit road or on the track that I begin to slow down. But it's basically on exit of 4 and probably about 3 seconds past that. Pit road's about 1,000 feet in front of me, and I'll begin to check down, slow down. You just gotta kind of aim the car at it, get it straight, hold that wheel straight, and slow down quick. Because any turn that wheel, it might spin out on you, and so early in a race, you don't want to take any big chances. With that said, on these first round of green flag pit stops, should they happen, I'm not expecting to see anything too ballsy. And right where that white line came down there, that would be where I begin my slowdown. A very quick, harsh slowdown, but it makes up a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just informed here by Josh. We've got 25 watching here tonight, and we've got 14 likes as of right now. Can we hit that 20 like mark? I know you guys are watching there in chat. Y'all are very loyal to the stream. It really helps us out, helps the league out, gets us a little more popular. Go ahead, smash that like button real quick, and hopefully we can hit our goal here as of now to get to 20. But these guys still side by side here amongst our top 4, top 5. Brody Hayes leading the way now. But there was a little bit of a battle for position there. A couple laps ago, it looked like Jacob Bell might have led his first lap of the night, but for the most part, looks like it's still pretty close here side by side. Only 2 trucks here. They've been really surviving on this side draft to stay up
Man,
there
they were
as
close
long as they
at the
have.
start-finish line there that time by. It was a really good race in there.
Jacob Bell
these
got it
two
by
lines.
4 1,000ths of a second that lap.
Couple inches, no more than that. That upper line is working, like I mentioned earlier, using that side draft, and if you have 2 or 3 drivers working with you, you can make it work pretty well. Now forward to see the 08 car come up to work with them, as they're going to get up to the bumper of those 2 cars up front and work with them, and they may be able to get past. But we'll have to see how it works out here coming into turns 3 and 4 if the 77 can clear the 37, and if he'll choose to go down and abandon the 35.
Yeah, absolutely. We have seen here at Daytona, at least I've noticed behind the wheel myself, if you got a lot of smart racers up in that high line, you could stay close together, maybe not necessarily bump drafting, you could definitely gain a lot of momentum here as Jacob Bell will once again lead that lap again, I do believe. This
More
time,
commanding margin that time.
only this time it was by a couple feet there instead of just a couple inches, but you could definitely gain a lot of momentum on that high side. It is very powerful here at Daytona if you do it just right.
Absolutely. Every track has multiple, or most tracks, almost every track has multiple lines you can run. Daytona is the same thing. Sometimes you'll see everyone go up high, and that could eventually happen here. If this high line ends up getting in front of the low line and stays high, you could potentially see the low line file up behind them, and they'll just run together in a single line all the way up until these green flag pit stops. Now, the one curse of being down up high where they are is, say that low line pitted there, that upper line might not have been able to.
Yeah, absolutely. For a green flag pit stop situation, if you're up high, that could definitely mess up your day. But also running that high line, I have noticed there is a little bit of an advantage. You can save a little bit more tire as well running this high side.
Absolutely, but where you're saving tire, you are burning a little bit more fuel.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're taking that longer way around this racetrack for sure. Well, these guys are still single file for the most part. These guys are battling pretty good here for the lead. Just kind of take a peek here at our second pack. They lost a little bit more time. They're now 17 seconds back behind our 15th place truck. But man, 18 seconds behind the leader. They are losing a lot of time. You would think with all these guys back here, they would at least try to, either maintain or maybe even gain a little bit of time. But that doesn't look to be the case.
Nope, I think they're playing a long-term strategy, but there's risk in it. They could end up laps down here, so they're going to have to be really careful with this. However, if they're all working together, which I'd have to assume they obviously are, and they're just running single file, then, it could be a safe route around, and should a wreck be triggered up front in that front pack, then things will work really well for them. Or should a caution come out, things will be fine for them, and they simply lagged back. They could be reserving fuel. There's a lot of strategies they really could be playing here. It's hard to know without being in the car, and obviously they're not going to broadcast it to everyone and spoil it if they're trying to pull a fast one anyway. But, they are falling back here, but they just seem to be holding relatively steady at the moment, around 18 seconds back from the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys look like they're about maybe a half lap or so behind. That can definitely play a factor, especially when pit stops happen. These guys in that second pack, if you make a mistake, you're out of the draft completely. It doesn't matter first pack or second pack, and that could definitely leave you laps down, like you said. But I'm seeing here already, it looks like we've got 18 likes already, 2 more away from that 20 like mark. Come on, guys, let's get to 20, and then I'll be nice. I'm nice tonight since Josh really isn't doing much here as far as talking goes. We'll push it up to 25 after that. So you guys get to 20, then our next goal will be 25, of course.
From what I see, we're at 20 right now.
Oh, well, then let's go ahead. Let's move it on up to 25. Come on, guys. Smash that like button. Be sure to be watching. Be sure to spread it all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and just for Josh because he's boomer. If you've got MySpace, go ahead, share your MySpace information there, and who knows, maybe somebody will see it.
You can see that top line there falling off a little bit as the 88 comes and merges in, or at least he tried to merge, didn't quite. Oh, he will get it done. 88 will slide in front of the 24.
And the 35 is
and
getting a little bit
77.
restless here.
Yeah, left out to dry here. He's going to go side by side with the 77 3 ride, the 88 35 and the 77. Of course, on the backstretch, plenty of space to do that.
Yeah, it looks like these
he'll
guys
get
might
back in
start
there.
pitting here. Maybe that's why they're getting all single file here. And of
That
course,
could
maybe they
very well be
realize,
it.
maybe they're realizing too that this isn't really the time to try to go for that lead and just want to play it safe for now. It could be a couple differing strategies here.
Absolutely, and you're burning a lot of fuel when you are up front. leading the pack. I thought 35 was going to pit road there. I think he
So
was
did I.
thinking about it, but no one else seemed to go with him. That
How-
happens
what's
sometimes.
that- what's
the last
ideal?
thing you want to happen is get left out to dry when you pit and be the only one out to pit.
Yeah,
That's one of the
absolutely.
curses of being up front in a pack, is not pitting and say the 88, 24, 08, and all the cars behind him pit this time by, as an example. Those guys there are going to be running another lap without them, and it could spell trouble for them. You never know. So lots of stuff plays in here at Daytona. Like I said, a lot of strategy.
Well, with this pack kind of basically split into two groups, as they've lost another 2 seconds. The second pack has. You know, what's your mindset as you come down pit road? How many trucks do you think is ideal for you as far as the pitting strategy goes?
As long as you have about, you could get it done if you can tandem, which can be difficult in these trucks. You can technically get it done with 2 trucks. However, comfortably, I'd like at least 5 personally to come down with me. And if you're far back from another truck, so say, let's see, let's look at the standings, the roster here. Say the 37 to the 88 came down pit road, but the 24 to 52 did not, and the 43 wanted to come down as well, but he's, say, 2 seconds behind. Well, he's gonna have to find a way to shave 2 seconds off his pit stop to ensure that he's up with them, because being 2 seconds back and then another 2 seconds back leaving pit road, you're not going to catch that draft and you're left out to dry.
Yeah, absolutely. It almost would have to be where these guys up front would have to take tires. They would have to take at least 2, where Logan here in the 43, for example, would have to just take fuel only.
Yep. So, and luckily at Daytona that can work. At most other tracks, 1.5 miles and such, if you pull a 2-tire strategy, you're banking on a short run there because you're going to be left out to dry pretty shortly after not taking 4. At Daytona, you can play all sorts of different strategies and get it done. You can even grab 2 tires. A lot of people don't grab 2 tires all that often. They don't like how it makes the car handle. What I've done in my own experience is grab right side tires, gotten that little bit of an edge, and it equaled out from the imbalance between the 2 tires eventually, but it gave me just a little extra handling early on. As they're coming down
pit road here, these guys, all the main pack except for 3 of them, all the downforce guys stayed out here. They're going to go for 1 more lap at least, while the big pack, they've come down to pit road here.
Great job getting on pit road by all them. It seems like they all slowed down enough here.
Yeah, definitely very important. You don't want to get a speeding penalty. These guys running, kind of scrambling a little bit.
Back of the pack's coming down pit road as well.
Oh, wow.
Got about
okay,
5 of them coming down.
All right. Well, we got 5 more coming down pit road here as well here, it looks like. These guys here that are pitting, again, they have to follow the league rules. And those are, you have to stay to the right, as far over to the right as you can. And, of course, it is a 5 pit stall limit. As an example, 2 behind you, the one you're sitting in, and 2 out. So these guys here really trying to maintain their track position and hopefully, come out as a winner off pit road here. But it looks like the downforce guys, 3 trucks here, the 43, the 7, and the 2, they are all coming down pit road here.
Yep, looks like they just waited an extra lap. They might have not been comfortable, maybe anticipating a wreck to happen, entering pit road, didn't want to get wrapped up in it, and that could have been a smart decision here. As long as they maintained a bunch of their speed here on that lap they ran, just the 3 of them, they could technically phase in just fine as another group of cars comes in the pit road this time.
Yeah, it looks like we got another group coming in here. It looks like most of the back of the pack now this time. Looks like Danny Ware, of course, Michael Atkins Jr., looks like the 82 as well coming down pit road. The 83 of Cale Gill, I believe, is coming down pit road. Definitely feeding time for these guys. They can only go about 25 laps here, and it looks like that's about the target they've hit here as their max here this evening.
And as you can see, they will not even come close to taking the lead here, the back of the pack on that strategy to stay back there. So definitely a strategy on safety, not a strategy on track position here, as they'll probably funnel back to a similar situation that they were just in. But should that big one eventually happen, and you know it will, then they'll be thankful that they stay
Well,
back
here
there.
come our leaders. They're in this big lead pack. Looks like the downforce guys, they're going to go to the inside, while the outside here is going to be that big pack.
Well, that
Everybody
could be
trying to get together. Here comes the 93. He's a lap down. These
be a
guys.
Get your situation when you got car up low and car down high.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to thread the needle there in the middle. Looks like these guys get through there pretty good so far, clean and green, these first 27 laps.
I've seen a lot of wrecks happen in situations like they were going through right there. I was jumping out of my seat, trying not to interrupt you there. I was pointing out that there could very well be a caution right here and now, but they kept it clean. They made it through. I also thought there could be one right there. Sometimes when you drop in line and you don't have a lot of speed, you can check up that pack behind you and get run over and hit wrong on that bumper, and it could spin you right out. And quite frankly, the best place to probably get hit like that and spin out is right here on the back stretch, where likely your car will not hit a wall as long as you can keep it under control. So it's a lot of risky maneuvers here. They're getting a little more risky as they go on here, maybe as they're jotting for position and trying to gain. I'm not sure who grabbed tires and who didn't, but people are trying to just maximize what they have here and now while they have an advantage from whatever their strategy may have been.
Yeah, absolutely. With these guys, differing strategies here, but looks like everybody's keeping it clean here. Looks like the 52 and the 24 of Bradley Wetzel and Jeff Glockner, they've kind of pulled away. They were in this second pack, I do believe, in the last run. Looks like the 24 actually has some pretty significant damage here.
We'll have to check that out here.
He's got it from both ends.
He does, yep. I'm guessing coming on the pit road, however, I did not see the incident, that he must have been rear-ended and then pushed into the car in front of him. That's the most likely reason for rear-end and front-end damage with minimal side damage on the car. It's very unfortunate. That's one of the curses of green flag pit stops, is you can get run over. What you saw some of the cars do there was check way, way, way down low when they were pitting. As you look at the white line, they'll be down way below it coming into pit road. That way, if there's a checkup, they might not get rear-ended because of it, but looks like the 24 was not that lucky, unfortunately. Early on in the race here, you hate to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely hate to see it here early on, but back up here in this front pack, looks like the 83 of Cale Gale, one of our championship contenders, actually the point leader. He's going to fall a lap down here. He lost the draft completely of both packs, and it looks like he's going to be falling right in here with this lead pack. He will be the first truck one lap down, so if a caution were to come out, he will definitely be our free pass winner.
That would be that risk I talked about earlier from that back pack. If you lose the draft on the last pack, there's no draft for you to catch until you're lapped down again. Now, he can probably suck up to that front pack and draft with them to retain himself as the first car one lap down, but it's obviously a hole, and the last thing you want is to go a lap down that early. There's other cars that are likely going to experience a similar fate.
Yeah, Joshua Gillian.
And the 5.
Yeah, and the 5's already right there in your picture. He's got some left side damage, so maybe he was coming into his pit stall, maybe hit the pit wall. I know I've done that a couple times in my racing life. We won't go into that, but it's definitely a thing that is doable. Coming down pit road here, if you're going a little too fast, you could miss your mark and hit the wall.
Absolutely, things can happen.
Well, we still got this front pack here. Pretty much all single file. These guys really just trying to hang in there, get to the end. 31 laps, of course, caution free. We've already had one pit stop. Definitely, it looks like we have the potential to see another here tonight.
Like I mentioned earlier, I did ultimately see that it did happen. Cale Gale is working with that pack to try to retain himself as the first car one lap down.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to do that. Randy Perdue, he's already at the back of this front pack. Looks like he's lost some time already. Lost the draft perhaps, and he'll definitely try to get up there because he needs to battle that 83 truck. That'll be an interesting race here coming in if we do get a caution.
Yeah, what else I've noticed is that front pack has shrunk a little bit, as now there's only 12 cars in it.
Yeah, it looks like this front pack has shrunk down quite a bit with only 12 trucks. And then, of course, it looks like one truck all by himself, Orlando Rivera, even though he's getting pushed by the 93 of Shad Curran, who's a lap down. Then it's another couple seconds here to Bradley Wetzel and Jeff Glockner. These guys are teammates here. And then, of course, it's another couple seconds to the second pack, which has also gone down in size a little bit as well. And these guys are just racing it out. These guys are not single file anymore. These guys are in a pack together. Hopefully, trying maybe a different strategy here. Hopefully, maybe this kind of pack will work and get them up to the front.
Hopefully. Gotta take it easy and go on here. Now, how many laps are left in this race?
Well, we're on lap 33 and 90 here, so we got quite a few laps to go here.
Absolutely. So plenty of time to make up for mistakes. Is it 3 wide here? Bumping. I thought there could have been something there.
Yeah, it looks like these guys here in this second pack already 3 wide. Well, now it looks like Cody McFadden has got stuck in the sucker hole there in the middle as he was able to get back down to the bottom. But when you get in the middle here at Daytona, really not a good place for you to be because you're getting a lot of different air there, and it can really just suck you right towards the back of the pack.
It will send you right on back there unless you find a hole to fall into, which then again, as I mentioned earlier, that can be risky because you fall into that hole with not enough speed and you try to cut off someone to get down in one of their lines. You can get wrecked just from that when you get hit with too much speed from behind. So it's risky. It's definitely not a position you want to be in. However, drivers do sometimes do it strategically. Perhaps he was a little concerned over that 3 wide business we just saw their last lap, and he didn't want to risk being taken out early here.
Yeah, absolutely. Still very early on in this race. 33, now 34 laps out of 90 are complete here, or 33 coming to 34. As our front pack still coming down the backstretch, looks like about 10 to 12 trucks strong here. Maybe 14 if you're talking about the 83 of Cale Gale and the 5 of Randy Perdue. But really here, these guys just holding on strong, trying to stay with each other. You really got to be tucked up on each other's bumpers here if you want to keep up.
Absolutely, it's very important. And as we've seen for those drivers who've now gone a lap down, you lose that draft and you're have a lot of trouble getting back to the pack, and most of the times you'll end up being swallowed up by that lead pack.
Yeah, especially in a race like this. We saw the Cup race a few weeks ago. They were here at Daytona. They did 100 laps, and they went they went 91 laps without a caution. So we could definitely see that here tonight. I know nobody was expecting that. We had packs maybe split up into 2 or 3 different packs that night. A lot of clean and green flag racing, of course, until the end because, it's Daytona.
Yep, once you get to the end, gloves are off. It's whatever happens is a racing incident, and one of the benefits of it being a simulator is you can take a risk and not have to worry about anyone getting injured.
Well, it's just a sim here. We ain't got to worry about injuries here. Maybe hurt feelings.
Yep, it's about the only injury you're gonna walk away with here is feeling a little butt hurt. But outside of that, you should be just fine unless you got your force field go cranked up.
All
like crazy,
the way
or
up,
hand
right?
trapped
Yeah,
in or
exactly.
something.
Well,
You should be
we've got 22 likes, 3 away from that 25 mark. Come on, guys, y'all are watching here. I don't know how many are in chat right now, but go ahead, give us a like here. It only takes a couple seconds.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it. Feel like it's 2014. Smash it, mash it, whatever. Hit that like button.
Absolutely.
Well, we are here still at Daytona. These guys still clean and green.
Absolutely.
Well,
The
it looks like we've
backpack
got
is split up
25
for
here in the race lap right as of right now. 30 at peak, of course, as of right now. But you guys doing a phenomenal job. Keep watching these races. Daytona definitely always entertaining. Definitely a little bit of a surprise to me as a person part of this as a driver and part owner of a team. Really interesting to see that these guys have gone 37 laps without a caution. So these guys are doing a very excellent job, staying very patient, just again trying to survive and get to the end of the race.
Very important. Make it to the end of the race. That's what it counts.
Well, this second pack here, man, I think we might have a caution with this second pack. These guys up here, Garrett Heath, Timothy Zayas, or back here, I should say, Michael Atkins Jr., Danny Ware, all these guys here in this second pack, they are racing hard.
Yeah, I've been looking at them for the last 3 or 4 laps, and I was a little concerned there. About 2 laps ago, they were 3 wide. I thought they might even go 4 wide up front there. It was pretty sketchy to look at. They're shuffling all over the place, obviously battling with that dirty air as everyone's trying to make positions here. Nearly got turned there was the 39 car by that 48. Now, it may not have looked like it, but Gary, you would know this as well. You get that air hit wrong, and you just tap that bumper ever so lightly when you're turning your car left and right like that. It can get the car in front of you loose. And
well, and they are teammates. Both Northern Capital Machines here. That is Samson Motorsports. These guys are teammates, so that would have been a story for the debrief there after the race. But
yeah, they wouldn't have had a good time in their team meeting.
yeah, definitely not. That would have been an interesting conversation. But these guys here, still 2 and 3 wide, and of course, whenever there's action on the track, Colin, just call it as you see it. 2 and 3 wide racing. I will not get as excited as Josh, unfortunately. But, whenever we see 2 and 3 wide, that is definitely something to shout out here.
I'll definitely be getting excited here as we near lap 80, I'd say. Those last 10 laps at Daytona are always incredible. Lots of risky moves, lots of amazing racing. But this backpack is doing a lot of cool racing, I will say. I'm enjoying watching them.
Yeah, these guys are really doing a heck of a job putting on a show for these guys. I really thought we'd be talking about the front pack doing a lot of racing, but
They're single file.
we definitely always try to find the battles on the track as the top 12 are in a single file line here. But 13th on back, they're like, screw it, let's go ahead. Let's put on a show for these fans here on YouTube. They're doing a phenomenal job here on MaxSpeedTV and definitely running double file.
They're
Looks like
battling
the top
hard
three.
for 13th place.
They really are, and you just got to do it. Sometimes, if you know that the front pack is pulling away, you need to try something here, and these guys are definitely doing just that.
They absolutely are, but it does seem like they're starting to disperse a little bit here and head back to single file here in that.
Yeah, it looks like it here, but it looks like the teammates here of Primetime Motorsports, the 23 of Garrett Heath and the 22 of Timothy Zayas, these guys are the only ones left on that high line. I bet you they're probably just waiting to find a place in line for them both to get back down and fall back. But here comes Curtis Farmer. He was getting a little bit of a draft there from the 22.
That 19 car, he's working hard trying to get in front there in that backpack. He was pushing in the turn, which can always be risky. As you hit them wrong in the turn, it'll take them around. That's typically something I personally reserve for the end
I
of the
saw
race.
someone get on the apron.
I saw that as well. From my angle, I saw it pretty clearly. I wasn't too concerned. But hey, could have been worse. 19 car is still working hard. He's trying to get to the outside and use that side draft, similar to what I mentioned earlier before the race.
These guys are teammates as well.
The inside row. He could very well just be simply breathing his car out, then lowering the temperatures down, as that can be a problem. However, the pushing he was doing there, I feel like he does want to get in front of him.
Yeah, he might want to get in front of them there, as these guys are teammates, but looks like not anybody's wanting to go at the moment. So I think these guys are just trying to play it smart, stay in line, stay together. Maybe they think that's going to be the way to catch back up. And but these guys up front, nowhere in the back, all kind of single filed out now. Not a whole lot of battles going on around this racetrack.
Close bumper with those two cars there. They are really racing hard. So one of the things that I would like to point out here is one of the good options to force a line into going too wide is, say you are behind your truck and you need to breathe the engine. Well, the car behind you looks like he's about to check up to get some fresh air as well. If you check up along with him, there's a chance that some cars behind you might go with you as well, and you could leave the leader or the car in front of you out to dry and make a pass and force the line into splitting into two, which is especially useful when you get near the end of the race or in stage racing with points when you get to those stages.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We saw the 39, the 48. They have pulled out a line here in this second pack. They're trying to get it back going up again here. They're trying to get around the 08 here of Orlando Rivera. That will be for these guys. Just like I said, they're just keeping it quiet, keeping it solid here, not trying to cause any major wrecks. But they're definitely working that side draft down these straightaways and in these corners. They're already almost up in front of the second pack.
Absolutely. And first pack still racing single file, being safe here, so it does seem like the action-packed racing has been in this second pack all day. They're just racing hard here, obviously knowing that the more you fall back, the worse it is, and I think, everyone might just want to be the leader of the pack and try to lead them back up to the front here, as, it's starting to be crunch time. You don't want to be this far back as you near the halfway point and even past it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're near to the halfway point here. It'll be here in a couple laps. But looks like the 85 Andrew Jump and as well the 94 of Scott Brooks, they are trying their best catch up to these front two here in this second pack. Maybe try to propel in front of these guys here. Maybe try to catch up to that front pack.
Absolutely. Still a long way to go.
Yeah, definitely a long way to go. Looks like these guys are about a half lap down as these guys here in the front pack are about to enter into, looks like, turn number 3. So these guys about a half lap back between their fellow competitors here, but definitely opposite ends of the spectrum here so far as the racing goes, for sure.
Yeah, and looking back up front myself, they're still single file, but racing out here, lots of shaking around, so there may be some interest in making some passes here by these guys. They may be holding steady now, but it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, and also that could be a little bit of the tires as well, especially if you didn't take tires that first pit stop. That I've noticed here with this new tire model, it does upset these trucks a little bit, and these trucks do tend to move a lot more.
They really do, and you're definitely able to see that here, especially when you get to the bumper and get a lot of dirty air on them. Just a car moving without touching you behind you can move your truck a whole bunch, as you'll definitely see that a whole bunch here.
Yeah, definitely. You'll definitely be seeing that a lot here. But here, looks like still that best racing we're seeing here. Still from 13th spot here on back. Looks like Dwayne Dunn and Curtis Palmer not giving up, trying to get up to the front end of this pack. Well, and it looks like here, Colin, looks like we could be seeing our second round of green flag pit stops here. About 20 laps since these guys have pitted. Probably looking here in the next 3 to 5 laps of them coming back down pit road once again.
Definitely could be happening soon here, Gary. I am looking, I'm batting between the front and back pack at the moment, trying to see which ones look like they're going to do something interesting soon here. So just saw a car up front back out of the pack there. Made to breathe the car a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
Nolan Neiman was pulling out, maybe trying to see if he can get some guys to go with him. No one bid on that one.
Nope, he was left out to dry, unfortunately. But hey, there's still enough time to catch up, so you just got to be patient about it.
Well, he's peeking out, and he was able to get back in line, but I don't know what he plans on doing here. But these guys, they're going to pit him the next couple laps. Definitely should try to play it safe here. These guys will have to take, after this pit stop, it will still be a one-stop race with the fuel window being about 25 laps as we've seen here. So these guys are trying to cut it as close to the end for that last segment, so they can go as short a distance as possible. But these guys here definitely got 2 more stops, 1 more stop after they after this green flag cycle here when it starts.
Absolutely.
But it looks like here the end of this back into this front pack here, the 43 Logan Keiss, been hanging around the top 10 all night long. Currently in the 9th position. Then followed by his teammate Casey Duncan there in the 7th. He's in 10th spot, and then of course in 11th we've got Brandon Freeze, just hanging right in there with these guys, and maybe not trying to make any moves as they are coming down pit road. These guys, of course, will take the lead.
Backfires as they shift down here through 4 gears back in the 1st or 2nd, depending on their preference.
And they're 3 wide almost coming down pit road here.
99 got it up on there. Looking good.
Yeah, these guys, once again, definitely good. Green flag stops. Everybody coming to a stop.
88 might have slid through his box a little bit there. I'll have to go look back at that. Oh, look, I think he did. He had to reverse a little bit there, but...
Yeah, and that definitely does happen at a place like Daytona. I definitely lose a lot of time. But these guys coming off pit road, here comes the second pack. But these guys are going to have to pit anyway here in the next couple of laps. Not going to be worth it. These guys know they've got nothing to lose here. So.
Yep, looks like they're staying out at the moment, and there could very well be a caution at some point. And Gary, asking you about the fuel window, how much longer do you think that second pack can make it?
Probably another couple of laps or so. I was told that Logan was having some major issues coming onto pit road. Oh yeah, he spun it here, coming through the tri-oval. Looks like he got a bump there from his teammate, and he just spins it. Oh, well, he hits that inside wall very hard.
That's good.
Hits that inside wall there in between the tri-oval and turn 1. Looks like he will be done for the day. Tough break there for Logan Keiss.
Absolutely, very unfortunate. Hitting the wall, you get engine damage, your day will be done just like that. That's really unfortunate here as I rewatch it. That was just about the worst angle you could have possibly hit that wall at. That reminded me a little bit of Kyle Busch's wreck here in the Xfinity Series, Nationwide Series at that point. When he hit the inside wall like that in a similar manner, and I managed to break his leg. So that's a nasty hit. Thank God it's in a simulator, but you still hate to see it.
Oh yeah, still hate to see hard hits like that. But definitely not what he was hoping for. I don't know if he ran out of gas there or what the case was. Still a hard hit to take. And since that incident with Kyle Busch, they have taken all that grass out where he hit the wall. Now it's all pavement and cement, concrete, whatever, asphalt. And it looks like iRacing has done a good job of including that as well. So these guys, especially here at iRacing, the simulator, they really try to keep on top of things.
They do, and it's important.
And it looks like the second pack is coming down pit road here. This time by Also, looks like a mixture of guys coming in and out of the pits here. But it looks like our leaders, Dwayne Dunn, Curtis Farmer, these guys are wrapping up their pit stops, and they're going to be coming out as this first pack is going to be right back up at it. Looks like Brandon Freeze, I think, at the moment is your leader. Maybe Jacob Bell after this green flag cycle here. Or I'm sorry, Jarrett Lipsher will be your leader, followed by Willie Nelson as that spot for second will be changing hands. Brody Hayes up to the second spot.
Yeah, it takes a little bit after all these pit stops to see how it's all gonna, settle down and where everyone's gonna end up here on position.
Well, so we all know mistakes happen in sim racing, right? Well, I just got a nice little poke here from the driver of the 43, Logan Keiss. He has a spotter in this race, and from what he is telling me, as he was just trying to talk to his spotter, I don't know if he hit the wrong button, but his wheel went into Xbox mode, and that's when he made the immediate left turn and hit the wall.
That's very unfortunate.
So some technical issues there for Logan. Tough break to see. You hate to see it for him, but I know he was definitely one of those guys trying to pull upset tonight, maybe get a really good run if a win here.
Yep, it is very unfortunate, but sometimes it happens. It's pretty much the equivalent to a steering column failure in real NASCAR, so you hate to see it. It's very unfortunate, but nothing you can do about it. He'll just have to move on to the next race.
Oh yeah, move on to the next race, and of course that is championship weekend next week for Homestead here. So these guys definitely looking forward to that. Wrapping it up at one of the better mile and a halves on iRacing.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like the front pack has once again gotten even smaller here. Looks like only about 8 trucks now, 8 to 10 trucks in this front pack.
Yeah, it's shrinking down here every time on those green flag pit stops. If you make a mistake, it can spell disaster.
Yeah, absolutely could spell disaster, and it looks like we've got another pack here. Looks like some lap down trucks, but we've got some lead lappers here in this one as well. Ron Miller, Casey Duncan, Cale Gale, Randy Perdue, Brandon Freeze. Looks like these guys are on the lead lap. Those looks like Ron Miller, Brandon Freeze, and Casey Duncan. So we got one of the grass. It's Ron Miller. He makes a heck of a save going through the trial over there. Got down to the grass.
Good save on him. Very important to make saves like that. That could have been a whole lot worse than it was.
Oh yeah, and especially when you're going about 180. We got a caution.
Caution is out for the first time all night. What happened here, Gary?
Well, let's see. I don't know if it was maybe... Oh, looks like some issues here at the front of the field. Oh, looks like as the second pack was merging onto the track. Or maybe they were trying to avoid a lap car here. I'm trying to get a better angle at it.
Which driver was it again that went around?
Looks like the 99 was involved in this one. Oh yeah, he was just getting a push there from the 37, and around the 99 went. Looks like nobody else was in. Oh, and there's the pile up here. The 15 of Nolan Neiman, the 27 of Darren Bruce, the 96 Jared Lipsher, or I'm sorry, Cody Lipsher also involved.
It was an up and over too, flipping there.
Yeah, so it looked like with one incident there, just getting a little bit loose, getting a tap from a teammate of all things. Definitely sent him into the wall there. Definitely a tough break, but that'll just bring this pack closer together. It looks like Orlando Rivera was our first truck a lap down. So if he wasn't involved in the mess, he's going to get his lap back.
Unfortunate for Cale Gale, who we mentioned way earlier about how when he fell a lap down, that if he just stayed in position, he could get it back. But like I said, it's a risky move to make because simply just like this, he'll stay a lap down unless he gets a wave around option.
Yeah, it looks like he might try to take that wave around here, but it looks like these guys, they cannot make it to the end just yet. You might see them pit anyway, try to top off that fuel tank. And here, caution, if you take tires, it's not going to completely kill you either. So we might see some of these guys, if they do elect to pit, we'll probably try to take tires as well.
Due to how restricted play tracks work, me personally, under a caution, the position of these guys, I think I'd come in for 4 tires, top me off full of fuel. It's a great opportunity to do it. You can't make any major changes.
Well, it looks like we got some of the back half of the lead lap here. Some of these guys coming in, taking 4 fresh tires, because that could really add. We already said that Daytona has quite a bit of grip, but it just gives you that extra edge there. If you come in, take 4 tires, gives you a little bit more grip and a little bit more maneuverability with the truck.
Absolutely. And it really could matter at some point. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like these guys are finishing up their pit stops. Might pull up a driver here for an interview. We'll wait and see. We'll let these guys finish their green flag cycle here, or this caution cycle here. I'm sorry. Any driver in particular, you don't have to interview anybody if you don't want to, Colin, but is there any driver you may want to talk to here?
Let's see. Let me look at the list of guys we got here. We already did interviews there. I would have let. You know what? Let's do Cale Gale. If we didn't do him already, did we do him already?
I don't think we have, but we could definitely pull him up here. I want to see he's a lap down, so I don't know if he's pitted yet or not. I think it was just the lead lap trucks this time that pitted, so we'll let that one cycle out.
Sounds good.
I'll watch him and see what he does here. He might try to take that. Well, he can't take the wave around because some guys did stay out, so.
So in that case, he could very well pit here. We'll have to see what he does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep an eye on him here.
Working on some technical difficulties.
If he does pit, we'll pull up another driver. No big deal, no problem.
It does.
And it looks like he is going to pit here. So we'll pull up a different driver here.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead. Let's pull up Paul Irvin. Josh, you mind pulling him up for me? He's in JBR.
You interviewing? I interviewing.
I'll interview him. It's fine.
Sounds good.
Paul Irvin, Gary Wells in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4, I do.
All right. Well, Paul, we see you running here inside the top 5 in that 3rd spot. Started 10th tonight. Kind of been a crazy race in regards of a lot of green flag racing here. You had 2 cycles of green flag pit stops. Talk about your truck. How's it feel up there?
Truck's feeling pretty good. I thought about going back early and let all this chill out, but never really got too crazy up here in the front. So feels pretty good up here. Just going to try to keep it up here, top 5, and see if I can't put myself in position to win this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Running 3rd here, like you said, running very solid here. Coming into the last 30 laps here, probably when we take the green flag, you think it might get a little bit more chaotic here, maybe less patience here as we get toward the end of this thing?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You're going to definitely see new faces up here. The people who've been riding in the back and biding their time, they're going to make their way up to the front and show a little bit of impatience up here. And yeah, I don't think that's going to be our last caution by far.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. These guys are all racked up once again, but we'll go ahead, let you go back down there with your team, and let's just race out here, bud.
Appreciate it.
I agree with him there. There could very well be more cautions in this race.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you, Josh, there, for all your nice producer work there and dragging people. Appreciate that. Well, it looks like we're coming to 1 to go here. Yes, we are. We are coming to 1 to go this time by. These guys going to get double file. And, of course, we do have a crank it up cam here. And we've got 27 likes so far. We have crushed the 25 like marker, of course. Go ahead. Let's hit 30 now. Now I'm going to push you for 30. We're 3 away from that. Let's see what you guys can do. But this restart here, Colin, we got to crank it up cam. I'm going to let Josh go ahead and play that as we go green. But we'll go ahead. I'll get them going, and then we'll have a nice little crank it up here.
Alrighty, sounds good.
These guys are rounding turn number 2 this time by. And when you're in TV2, TV3, a lot of these camera angles here really shows the banking of this place. It is wild. I have seen it in person just a couple of times as we see Brody Hayes choosing the outside lane for the restart. Very interesting call there for him. But this banking here at Daytona, Colin, very steep.
Absolutely. It can be hard to even walk up this banking, and if you were to stop your car up high, you'd probably slide to the bottom to the apron.
We've definitely seen that here before, especially when Juan Montoya hit that jet dryer here in NASCAR a few years ago.
Only takes one.
Well, we've got Brody Hayes here taking the lead. He's going to choose that outside lane. Willie Nelson having a nice little salute there. Prayers for Ryan. Ryan Strong there onto the hood of his race truck. He's going to be lined up here in the 2nd spot. Pace car here on the track, getting ready to dive down to the safety of pit road. All Paws Animal Hospital green flag. Pace cars off. Green flag back in the air. Let's go ahead and throw up a crank it up. And we are back here at Daytona. Already some exciting racing. The 49, Michael Atkins Jr. there as we come back with a pretty aggressive move. Trying to take the lead. Nobody went with them. Looks like nobody for now.
49 looks like he's going to work that side draft on the 20 car here. Maybe trying to get... It looks like he does have support from behind, so this could very well be a battle for the lead here by the time they get to the front stretch.
Yeah, definitely could be a battle for the front as he dives back down to the inside line. Not much help there behind him as things kind of fell apart there on him. But looks like Josh Gillen there in the 40. I think you were talking about it. A green truck kind of hitting the wall there. Looked like it might have been Josh earlier. He is not on the lead lap. He is definitely trying to fight for his way back onto the lead lap spot here.
Definitely a misstep there in trying to get his lead lap back, but you got to take risks when you're behind, and that was what he did.
Well, and he is the first truck a lap down. So these guys are really starting to crank it up here. These guys in this first pack.
88 was pushing 49 there in turns 1 and 2. They're racing really hard. They're really dicey. They're really trying their best to get up front here. And they're side by side right now. And it looks like they could get it done here as the 49 is currently ahead of the 37. He's coming down. He's not clear yet, but that might have checked up some of his pace there as the 88 had to check up when he slid up back in front of him.
I think he was just trying to do some side draft there.
I do
trying
think
to get that momentum.
But with the way the draft was behind him, Although, you know what? I'll eat my words here because it looks like he's
He
gonna lead
led
this
that
one.
lap. I know you
That's
were probably
still
thinking the same thing I was. You want to hold that wheel nice and steady, especially when you got a whole pack of cars, as he dives down to the inside now to take the lead.
Yep, he got it finally. Slides in front of that 37 car. Looks like the 88 and 35 will continue to work together up there on that line. They're not relying very much on side drafts, although you can see it's pretty dicey there. The best thing they could do right now, unless their cars are getting hot, is just stay as steady as they can and try to tandem and get some extra speed built up. That 88 car has been solid all night. I've been enjoying watching him, and I'd like to see what he can get done here at the 88 of Paul Urban.
Yeah, Paul Urban done a really good job here. He's actually signed with Downforce for next season, as that'll be taking a different name here at the end of this one, but signed a Cup deal, actually. So he'll be up in the Cup Series next season. Done a really good job in K&N. Owners feel like he's done a good enough job to move up into the Cup Series. But anyhow, these guys here still dicing and weaving here, making some moves. I know these tires definitely, if some of these guys haven't changed tires, definitely starting to get a little dicey. But I did notice that we did hit 30 likes. Josh has been messaging me all night as we hit these likes here. Good job, guys, on the 30 likes. Very good to see. Let's see if we can hit 35 before the end of the race. I think we can do it.
Absolutely, you just gotta smash that like button and get it done. Still too wide here up in the front pack. 88 leading that outside line, but
oh, a little bit of contact maybe almost between the 20 there. 20 kind of moved up on that 88, trying to do some side drafting of his own.
Yep, I bet the 88 was coming down for one and he was coming up. That can happen, but they made it through, and that's all that counts. Gotta see how it works out for them. That upper line is falling back a little bit here as a 37.
Oh, but here comes the 37 to 20
out to dry.
And these guys are teammates as well as they're coming up through the front of this pack. Oh, the 49 gets a little bit loose. Got a bump
down
there
below
from
the
the
apron,
52.
3 wide. This is getting
3,
dicey.
4 wide. I don't know if they're going to make it. Are they going to make it? There goes the 35 through the grass.
The 35. You got to hope he gets it.
Oh no, he's going to come up in front of this pack. We got to cross.
There's going to be a wreck, and they are wrecking back there.
Caution is out. We saw it here live on Max Speed. The 35 got shoved down into the grass.
Couldn't slow it down in time. He slipped right back up in turns 3 and 4. He tried his best.
Let's take a look back here on the backstretch here. Might have had a little bit of contact. Looks like he was trying to get back down. The 49 was there, unfortunately, and he was trying to check it up and hit the brakes. But, man, when you hit the grass sometimes, it just propels you forward. And, of course, the 19's involved, and the 64 might have gotten a piece. These guys all piled up back here.
Yep, this was definitely a bad wreck here as I'm looking at it myself. That 19 took a really gnarly lip. He had a car up and over into the air. Really bad. A lot of guys' nights just ended there, unfortunately. But like we said, it was going to happen eventually. And that's one of the perks of anyone who was lagging back there who wasn't involved. But also the guys up front there, they couldn't hit it because they were in front of it, which was really good for them. The 35 might be able to press on here, but that 19's night and a couple other drivers, they're definitely over.
They're definitely done. Josh, I want you to go inside the cockpit view here of Curtis Vollmer. Curtis here, man, I tell you what, he got through this wreck. He was in the back. He saw everything happening in front of him, but all he did was he just checked up, and it ended up working out for him. As he goes from the high side a little bit, he starts down here at the yellow line, goes up, actually, as he sees the wreck unfolding, checking up, getting out of the gas, staying right near that yellow line. He sees trucks flipping, and he goes to the high side as he sees those guys up high, and they're sliding back down to banking. So really good wreck avoidance there for Curtis.
Absolutely. It's very important, a good skill to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime that you can avoid these wrecks, it's definitely going to pay big dividends as well. Looks like here, still got plenty of time, about 21 laps to go now, as these guys here are coming down for some tires and fuel. Just trying to make it to the end. Pit stops are happening now.
That they are. A lot of guys pitted there. Looks like everyone made it through clean as they should have. We are under caution here. Let's see where they cycle out here. For me, it's showing the 88 in third, the 20 in second, and the 37 in first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a little bit of time here. Do you feel confident in doing an interview?
Sure. You want to
All
interview
right.
Paul Irvin?
Well, we already interviewed him. How about we interview another
geez.
driver?
I've done a tremendous job at choosing drivers here. Let's interview Just choose one for me.
How about we pull up Jacob Bell, one of our chase contenders in third place in points coming in tonight.
Sure, let's interview Jacob Bell.
Well, let me find him here first.
Okay.
Jacob Bell, Gary Wells up in the booth alongside Colin Hudson. You got a copy?
What's going on, man?
Oh, just up here chilling. Colin here is going to give you the interview.
Yeah, watching you just had that big wreck. What did you think of all that?
Man, I think. Oh, hold on here. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
I believe he is listening in on race control. Nick Hunt
He
making the
is.
call here.
I'm not having the best luck on these tonight.
Sorry. You got me?
Yeah,
We
we
do.
got you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Talk about going through that wreck, man.
Yeah, I saw the 35 truck. He got sent down to the grass. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I saw him go down low, and we were getting close to turn 3, so I knew it was a matter of time before he came up. And I couldn't see him on my left side. I just kind of had a feeling to start creeping up towards the wall just in case, and was able to get around it.
Well, good job on that. It's very important to get that wreck avoidance. Looking forward here. We got about 19, 20 laps to go.
Yeah, it's hopefully gonna, hopefully we didn't use up all our luck there. We're just gonna try to get this Lodge Box team into victory lane. Sitting third in the points. We need the points, need a little bit of luck, and then hopefully next week at Homestead we can make something happen. But thank you guys for the broadcast and everything you guys do. Sounds great.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck down there the rest of the race, and hopefully we'll see you here afterwards.
Yes, sir.
And that is Jacob Bell, the owner of Jacob Bell Racing, running very strong here tonight, 7th place. Been basically top 10 all night. Been doing a really good job here. So looks like we are getting ready to go green, I believe, next time by? Question mark? Could be wrong here. Looks like we got quite a few trucks taking their wave around. Looks like Cale Gale is going to be one of those guys.
Finally back on the lead lap. You had a long deficit to dig out of there after going
Yeah.
lap down earlier. You know what I
Absolutely.
might do myself? I might write down questions to ask these drivers for when we do future interviews.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Hey, when you do your first one, sometimes it's not always the greatest. We kind of put you on the spot there, but you definitely start thinking some things here as we go forward. But
Like,
looks
hello,
like
how do you drive a car?
right. Well, we've got the 5 here, the 24, and the 83. Randy Perdue, Jeff Glockner, Cale Gale, respectively, all going to take their wave around, which means they will be back on the lead lap. Of course, when you get the wave around, you cannot pit. Coming to 1 to go this time, another All Paul's Animal Hospital green flag. Again, they're located in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. So if you ever need to see a vet and you're in that area of Minnesota, go ahead and check those guys out. They're definitely been a good green flag sponsor for us so far. And, maybe we'll see them back here in the future. I know this is their last week with us here, so.
Keep an eye on this top 5 here as we get ready to restart here with Brody
Yeah,
Hayes,
definitely,
Willie Nelson, Mike Franklin, Paul Irvin, Casey Duncan. This could be
Oh,
crazy. What
the
the hell?
49. The 49
Oh.
truck is flipped and
Upside down,
topsy-turvied
up and
over,
over.
and
Deke,
I-
gone.
he gone. I think he disconnected or something there. He was going really fast. It kills the 2 truck of Brandon Freeze and the 82, and then just drives
Yikes.
head on into the wall. I don't know if he had a throttle stuck there, but definitely not great.
I'm not
Tough
sure.
break there
Gary.
for Brandon Freeze, and 82 there of Mike Franklin.
I'll look at a replay of that while you can do the green flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, these guys here side by side, Brody Hayes once again electing to take the top side here for the restart. Pace car here exiting turn number 4, getting ready to dive down to the safety of pit road for another All Paul's Animal Hospital green flag. Pace car down and in. These guys side by side. Brody Hayes taking control. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway at Daytona. As we see Brody Hayes getting a good jump here on the restart. Going to dive back down to the inside, get behind his teammate there, Willie Nelson. Paul Irvin, unfortunately, going to be stuck back there in the back as Mike Franklin and looks like Casey Duncan will all get around him.
Looks like he will fall back there. So I did investigate that incident there. I couldn't quite understand the cause. He might have had some beef with the 2 car, but hard to tell there. But unfortunate for
tell.
him in the 80, one of the other cars, 83.
Yeah,
I
it was the
believe,
82.
involved.
It was
82.
82 there, Mike Franklin. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if there was a situation where maybe he was frustrated with the 2 or throttle stuck. Who knows? But definitely,
sure.
definitely
I've
not
never
sure
seen
there.
something like that exactly. So that
I
was
haven't seen. I mean, I've seen it in officials, but I've never seen it in a league race quite like that. So,
have you ever?
no, I know I've never, and I think he's going to get called to the Oval Office here at the end of this race. So,
I'm glad I didn't say maybe one time.
maybe a couple
88.
times.
Oh, we tried to. We didn't quite have it open there. 88 tried to slide it back in on that low line. He's going to just have to bite the bullet and slide to the back of this
Yeah,
inside
looks like
line
he's
here.
going to have to slide to the back here of this pack, but these
82's
guys
still
crazy
driving.
up here. Yeah, the 82 is still in a good position. He's in 3rd spot. A shout out to Casey Duncan before I jinx him here. He's running inside the top 5, started 15th. He's worked his way up to that 4th spot. Non-chaser. He's definitely going for it all in this French's truck. I definitely do like it, even though it's yellow. But it looks like he's trying to suck up to the back bumper there of Jacob Bell. Jacob Bell running in the top 5. He's running the 5th spot.
Mike Franklin's another driver who's had a pretty good day so far. After starting 23rd, he's in 3rd place here.
Yeah, he's gained 20 spots here since the beginning and has done a really good job running up here with these guys. And even with all that rear end damage from that last lap under caution, he's definitely gained a lot.
Yep, he's the biggest mover in this race so far from what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I believe you are correct as far as the positive movements.
However,
here comes the 52 of Bradley Wetzel, the 88 of Paul Irvin, also the 05 of Tommy Amassi. These guys, here they come. They are trying to work their way up to the front.
They're working hard up high here, and you can see behind them there is support coming if they can just hold on to it. It's pretty risky, though, pushing through this tri-oval, but they're working hard on it. The 37 holds on to the lead here, but you know, the racing's getting dicey, and it's getting to that time of the race where you have to
and these pushes are going to get harder here. 16 laps to go, coming to 15. These guys,
on that 52.
Oh yeah, and these guys are not going to be laying back and seeing some daylight in between some of these cars, or I guess nightlight here in front of these cars. These guys, the pushing's going to get a little more aggressive, going to get a little harder, where these guys are really going to have to, you know, kind of pick their battles a little bit, and we might see another wreck here. These guys are all over the place.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. There very well could be another. They are very dicey. They're sliding all over the place. It could happen at any moment here, as you can see. Checking up to 88 goes, well, he comes back down. But 88 was checking up whether for air, although it looks like he's anticipating maybe making a pass and pushing a 3 wide. He looks like he could very well try to, but he might be just simply breathing his motor. One of the curses is really hard to tell. I do think he's just grabbing fresh air, but I thought he was going to make a pass there. They're losing some momentum there because they have less drivers. They're having to push a little harder than that low line to get it done, as 88 gives a hard push there.
That 05 is swirly back there too. Yeah, it looked like that 05 was getting a little bit swirly there as well. These guys here, they're definitely working. They're working the wheel. They're working the gas pedal. Obviously, looking in the mirror. You do mirror drive a little bit here at Daytona and Talladega, just to see what these. Oh, well, I meant that a little bit very sarcastically. These guys are looking up in their mirror almost as much as they're looking forward, just trying to time that run, see where it's going to come from. Paul Irvin, if you're going to make it 3 wide, just make it 3 wide already. We want to call it here.
I agree here. I've been thinking I'm going to call it there. Like 2 laps ago, I was getting ready to
Oh, we got a bump there from the 05 behind him.
He checks out, but he looks like he's going to make it back in behind that 52. That's one of those risks I talked about earlier. When you get in the turn and you hit someone, you push someone, it can send them right out of the line, and it can cause a wreck. Luckily, he was able to keep it under control there, because that
05 of Tommy Amassi, he's that 3rd truck in line. Normally, you don't see a whole lot of pushing there, but he has definitely been forcing the issue here a little bit.
Well, they are coming down here. Only a couple laps to go. We're more than halfway through this race by quite a bit. So, you know, just got to get it done. It's go time.
Yeah, definitely. 13 to go here. Lap 78 out of 90. These guys being a lot more aggressive here. Going to show a lot more aggression. Going to show a lot more less patience here. These guys definitely want to get to the front because, again, at the end of the day, it's Daytona, and everybody wants to win here at Daytona.
Every single person, that even playing field is absolutely an amazing opportunity, especially for someone who hasn't had the best of luck this year. Daytona's a great track to turn that luck around, especially with that championship race being next week. This can be a great race for someone to make up a lot of ground here, as they're still side by side, but they're not quite side by side for the lead, although it looks like they are getting a run. But I do think the 37 will lead this lap. We'll see if I have to eat my words again for the second time. I will not. 37 will lead the lap.
Yeah, 37 leads that lap there. I believe he has led the most laps here tonight. Cannot confirm the lap count here. Maybe Josh will poke me that with here in a second, because I know he could see that information. But 37 really been the car up front, or the truck up front. Him and Willie Nelson seems like they both have exchanged it a couple of times. And again, these guys do work together. They are friends. They're down there in the KC Motorsports chat together, so they are a team. But these guys definitely still working hard for sure.
Absolutely. Like I said, not a lot of laps left in this race, so it's time to go. As the green car, he cut down there on that line, but he made it work. That top line's falling apart a little bit here. I bet they're gonna cycle back into a single file line, and with about 3 to 5 laps to go, they're gonna head back out. I mean, some people will stick out with it, as you can see, but I doubt it'll be an aggressive upper line, high line until probably about 5 laps to go here. But we'll see, because all it takes is, as an example, that 64 car could hit that 82 with his dented bumper rug, and that could shoot him up a little bit. And simple as that, some drivers could get the idea that people are going high early and go with them. So a lot of different stuff can happen. It's really hard to predict the Daytona here. As the pack goes by that lap car staying down low, it was the 2 car who was involved in that incident earlier we saw before taking the green flag. They end up single file again here. A lap car can mess things up a little bit when you're trying to run double lines. That high line's falling apart a little bit. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's starting to fall apart here a little bit, but as a driver, get inside one of these drivers' heads here a little bit. As we got 10 laps to go. Running in a single file line, are you just trying to have a calm before the storm type of moment here? Or are you maybe just trying to maybe make that one last push, kind of cool your stuff down a little bit for those last 5 laps?
When there's between 6 and 15 laps to go, if it's single file, I am happy as a clam. It gives you an ability to take some deep breaths, relax, focus, and be ready for the chaos that you know awaits you. It's really not a bad thing. I do like a scenario like these guys are in here with a spread out second line. I do anticipate situations like that, and I would personally look forward to them as a driver, because it gives you an ability to play around with things and maybe make up time here. But until you get to about 5 or 6 laps to go, maybe even 7, I'm pretty happy being single file.
Contact between the 40 and the 82.
88's around.
That's going to be a caution here.
Big wreck here.
No
Very
caution yet.
unfortunate.
Hasn't waved yet.
Oh, it's going to wave. There's a lot of drivers involved in that.
Still green. No caution yet. Of course, the admins, they do throw cautions. They do not throw cautions. iRacing, they allow iRacing to throw the cautions. There it is. Cautions.
iRacing has thrown the caution here. What a big wreck here.
Yeah, just as you were wanted to talk about Joshua Gilliam there, coming back from 28th there, Josh. He got involved in the wreck. So that's unfortunate for him. Him and Mike Franklin both kind of coming from the same 20s there, 23rd, 28th respectively. Make contact there coming out of the tri-oval. Very unfortunate situation there. Let's kind of take a look here at the replay, see what happened.
Currently looking at it myself here to see what exactly caused this wreck here. The 40 just came on to the 82. 88 went around with them.
Yeah,
Big
just from
wreck.
what I'm
Lots
seeing
of guys involved.
Just from what I'm seeing on my end, it looks like there wasn't really any contact. As I'm going with the far chase view, looks like maybe a little bit of netcode between the 52 and the 40. And
you know, the more you
set 'em
say that, the
down.
more I agree. That could have very well been netcode. As I look at this replay here, I'm going to focus in on this 40 car.
And maybe just got a little bit loose there with the air, and then they just kind of came down and made contact there, and just sends, unfortunately, just another big wreck.
Yep, I think there was a netcode on both ways, because it looked like that 82 was a little bit loose before.
Yeah,
he
and then
was
that
to
when the
him,
40 got
and
loose to come down to the
obviously-
82, it looked like there was about 1.5 feet there of just free netcode, at least on my end.
Yep, and now I'll try to investigate what happened to this 88 car here as we saw him go around. It looks like as the 40 comes down into the 82 and they slide up the track into the outside wall, 32 narrowly escapes it, and I mean narrowly, and the 88 in the brakes gets hit from behind, cuts across. that 80 car and goes around. Damage probably not too bad for him or that 80 car to keep on going here, but definitely unfortunate for them. Gonna have to throw 4 tires on those cars to keep it going. What do you think of that wreck, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gonna have to throw some 4 tires on, repair as much damage as you can. Just wanted to throw it out there. Within the last 10 laps, we do not interview anybody, so no interviews tonight. From here on out, the rest of this race, as as we're coming here with 7 laps to go now, it looks like. But definitely, Colin, here, you definitely might be able to see a green-white checkered. They only get 1 attempt at that here this evening. Kind of what's your thoughts? I think we might have to hit it, but who knows? You know, we've kind of seen it where they might not have to use it. We'll see.
Yeah, it all depends. Because of that wreck, these drivers might be thinking in the back of their heads, maybe I don't want to take too many risks here going forward. Although I wasn't too sure what the risk was that was taken there exactly was.
Looks like
Kinda
just
a
a
wait and
classic
see
Daytona
game.
deal.
It was, racing incident. Obviously, none of that looked very intentional to me. Very likely net code. Maybe his car got loose. Maybe he had a tire failure. There's a lot of stuff that really could have happened that we don't know. Unfortunate for the guys involved. A couple of those guys will have trouble continuing on this race, but luckily a bunch of them will be able to continue on. Maybe not with, as good of a car as they had before, but I'm sure some people escaped that without any major engine damage. At least they can hope so. We'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, definitely for sure. As we're coming down to the winding laps here, looks like quite a few drivers with some damage, and of course some guys were able to escape very luckily here out of this wreck. But it looks like the 83 is coming down to a stop. Same with the 52. I don't know if the 83 is out of gas. Maybe a blown tire. It looks like he's a little bit uneven on there on the front valence. But I just want to point out we're up to 33 likes now. I was going to mention earlier when we were down to 3. But we are up to 33 likes once again. Feel free. Keep hitting that like button. I think we can hit 40 before the end of this race. I still think we could do it. Still got 5 laps left remaining. Be sure to tell your friends. Have them come in, tune in the last little bit here. It's definitely going to get extreme here at Daytona. But yeah, looks like quite a few people may have stayed out here. Not everybody came down and pitted. Obviously, unless you were in the wreck there, you're going to come down and pit and repair as much damage as you possibly can. But these... Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. If you're there, you'll get down, pick as much damage as you can without going a lap down.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Well, it looks like some of these guys that do have a little bit of damage maybe were involved in the wreck, but not too much for them to want to come in and give up their track position. These guys here, looks like the top 4, top 5 of all stayed out. But these guys running good, running very strong. I want to give a shout out here before we go green. Cody McFadden. I believe he started, he started shotgun here on the field tonight. 30 trucks here for Daytona here tonight. Started 30th out of the guys that were running, and he is up to 3rd place. So very good, strong run for him. It looks like Randy Perdue, same deal. Started 27th, up to 8th. A lot of these guys here. And that's what really the racing provides here at Daytona. It provides a lot of packs. It provides a lot of opportunity to pass. And, of course, with a couple of wrecks, you can always find yourself up front toward the end. Well, it looks like we are finally 1 to green this time for another All Paul's Animal Hospital green flag. These guys running very strong here. Of course, patience. You could throw that out the window at this point in time. All these guys here, it is go time. Coming to 4 laps to go here when we restart this deal. Look at Dwayne Dunn. He was also in the back of the pack most of the evening. I'm finding up here up in the 6th position now. So good run for him. Curtis Vollmer as well. These guys, these Samson guys have been sticking together pretty much throughout the whole night. Garrett Heath as well. He was up in that back pack there at the beginning of the race. He is up into the 8th spot. And of course, Casey Duncan, he's just hanging right there in the top 10. Randy Perdue, I think was a couple laps down at one point. He's up into the 9th spot now, so he's had a great recovery here. A non-chaser looking to gain some points here, have a strong finish to the end of this season.
Yep, this is what it all comes down here. This could be the final restart, but if it's not, well, you'll know what brings out the next restart. We'll have to see what happens here, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if they take the white flag here in regulation, there will not be a caution. But of course, anything before then, we're likely to see a green-white checkered here at this point. Well, it looks like the pace car here finally going to make another dive down to the safety of pit road. Brody Hayes looks like he's chosen the outside line once again. Pace car's in. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway at Daytona, hopefully for the final restart.
Someone
Bradley
down to the apron
Wetzel,
there.
I don't know if he missed a shift or what happened there, but he has fallen to the back. He's dropping like a rock.
Either A, he money shifted, or B, he's anticipating the big one 3.0.
Yeah, the third big one here tonight.
37
These guys,
to 20 bumping hard here.
these
in
guys
1 and 2.
have been able to pull away. They've got a good jump, but these guys just kind of scattered here. I don't know if they got scared of the 52 there on the restart or what the case was there, but these guys all scattered, not really all together.
No, there is not. How many?
Well, here
laps to
comes an
go?
outside run here. Cody McFadden in the 64. He's got a big push here from Dwayne Dunn in the 39.
Absolutely, with not many laps to go here in this race, they're side by side up front, 37 with
The 20. And that 39 with that 64. Here comes the 23 of Garrett Heath. These guys are all up together now. Casey Duncan right behind the 20 there of Willie Nelson. Little bit of contact there. These guys getting a little bit loose here.
39 car looked like he was debating to go around that 64. It might be best to get someone with a clean bumper in front there to draft, to push through that air, because that car in front is kind of like a shovel pushing through that air, breaking it for the rest of the pack behind them, relying on that push from behind. You can see a big scattering behind them. There's only, I'm
looks like
counting 9 cars up here in the front pack vying for a win. But all it takes for that caution to come out and lead to a green-white checkered here. That second high line is falling apart a little bit there. Some of them ditching and coming down low. Dicey.
Preparing that one last push they can get here on the
Back
white
up
flag.
high.
Coming to 2 to go. I don't think we're going to make it back here. We might have a green-white checkered, but 2 to go here this time.
We'll see.
Here
there,
comes
Dicey.
Casey Duncan to the outside line.
Oh, I saw contact there for a second, but looks like they'll make it through as they're too wide coming into
Here
turns
comes the
1 and
5
2.
of Randy Perdue. He's trying to side draft off that 7.
This
Here
could
comes
be
the
it right
22 of
here.
Timothy Zayas, your pick.
Oh, I forgot all about Zay. Let's see what he gets done here. Zay was putting himself on a risky line up there of pushing that guy, but hey, it's going to be the white flag when
Here
they get
comes
back
the
to the
23
line.
coming back down to the bottom here. I think this is the exact view that Brody Hayes wants to see his teammate in his rearview mirror, and these guys just battling here for third.
There
That's
he
what it
goes
looks like
up
it's turning
high.
into. Here he comes to the high side. Casey Duncan onto the back bumper of him now. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Lodge Box.
That
Again,
22
for all
might
of
be in a
your
good
building and
position here.
construction needs across the southeast United States, visit lodgebox.build.
that
Build
was
with
almost
us.
it. They are battling here. That high line is coming together a little bit. They're just need some of those guys from behind to come along with them. Currently, still the 37 in the lead. But that 22 is working his way up there. He has the support from the 7. But
He's
that
definitely
low
going to
line
give it a
still
run.
has a
Here
bit
comes
more
the 48.
support.
He's going to come down to the bottom side, going to help his teammate.
Side draft's going to become prevalent. Lots of aggressive shoving becoming this way as they head into turns 3 and 4.
Coming
Seven's
into
gonna
turn
try
3
to
this
drop the
time.
22.
These guys battling hard
Not
for third.
enough
Not going to
luck.
have enough room to get there. Not enough
Comes
time.
up
Not enough
high.
track left. Here comes the 20. He's going
Trying
to
to
try to
beat
steal
that
the win.
37.
The 22 is going to push
Oh,
it.
they're
They're going to crash at the
crashing.
line.
Big wreck
I don't
over
know
to
who
the
won.
line.
Too close to call.
22 around. Lots of drivers involved in a big wreck at the start-finish line. What a race, Gary.
One heck of a race there. It looks like Brody Hayes is going to edge it out here over Randy Perdue and then Willie Nelson rounding out your top 3. We're going to gather these guys here a little bit. Going to take a small, quick break here. Pull these guys up here for our post-race interviews with the top 3.
Give me just a second. Looking at this replay here. Yes, folks, I am here. Looking at this replay here to finish it out, I am on that number 20 of Willie Nelson here. So, you know, we see Willie go high, and then it was just kind of on from there. Right now, it is a ball game. We see the 37 crosses the line, sideways. And yeah, so Willie Nelson will grab the win here. So, Gary, yeah, we will step away. We'll get the top 3 up here. But, man, what an awesome run by these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely an awesome run. Let's go ahead and get these guys here. We'll be right back. At Daytona. Crazy wild finish here at the end, but we're going to pull up our third place driver, Willie Nelson here. Going to celebrate his third place finish here tonight. Willie, you finished third here tonight in an exciting way too. Kind of sideways, got a big old push there from the 22 right before the start finish line. Talk about your race here tonight.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. That finish was definitely a different type of finish and getting jacked up and turned, but how coming across the start finish line sideways is just as good coming in third place. So getting a good finish out of here. But yeah, it was quite a difficult race. You know, planning out pit strategy and everything, and cautions coming out at the right time really saved us and able to take home top 3 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the replay again for myself, you guys definitely came across the line 3 wide there for second. But next week, we're wrapping things up here for the season. Going to Homestead, you're definitely one of our chase contenders here as you came into tonight. Second in points behind Cale Gale. Definitely going to be a battle between you two at Homestead.
Oh yeah, I expect a fun, playful battle there. I mean, I think I was 7 points coming in, but it looks like I'll be heading out on top. Hopefully we can top it off at Homestead and bring this championship home.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, any thoughts, shout outs, thank yous you want to give here as we let you go celebrate your third place run here tonight?
Definitely want to shout out my mom and dad watching. Give a shout out to Brody for helping get through this race, and Lipshire boys. Shout out to MSTV for broadcasting all these races, and Northern Capital and Extreme Motorsports for putting on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll let you go celebrate your third place run here. We'll hopefully see you next week here at Homestead. Maybe we'll be crowning you as champ. All right, and that was, of course, Willie Nelson. Next here, it looks like we've got Randy Purdue. And Randy finished second here tonight at Daytona. Of all things, Randy, coming across the line all side by side, real tight there, three wide battle there for second there at the end. But man, talk about your run here tonight. Lap down at one point, had to overcome some adversity, you work your way up to the lead draft and come home second.
Yeah, I had a little incident there on pit road. Somebody got into me and it kind of messed up my pit stop. Naturally, I lost the draft and kind of put me behind there. But just took a chance and stayed out on that one caution and lucked up, got another caution, and it fell right to where I could get back up in there and make a good run at it.
Absolutely. Well, you did a great job here tonight. Next week we head to Homestead, one of the more exciting mile and a halves on iRacing. I do say so myself. Talk about your thoughts going into Homestead. I know you're not in the chase or anything, but definitely with this positive momentum, you could definitely take it into Homestead and try to maybe pull out an upset win.
Yeah, maybe we can. I like Homestead. I like the way it races. I've had some good luck there before, so maybe we can survive and get up there close to the front next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, any thoughts, shout outs, thank yous you want to give us? We'll let you go celebrate your second place finish here.
No, not really.
All right. Well, we'll let you go ahead and pull you up here into the post race meeting here. But good luck for you at Homestead and good luck the rest of the season here.
Thank you very much.
All right. And of course, man, a few words. Randy Purdue finishing second. Now we're here with our winner in Victory Lane. The Gatorade and champagne going everywhere here in Victory Lane. Brody Hayes wins at Daytona sideways, upside down, any way imaginable. Brody, that was pretty flashy coming across the start finish line.
Yeah, I guess flashy is the way to put it. That wasn't how I wanted to do it, but hey, a win's a win, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We see you coming head on. I'm watching the replay again, head on into the wall there after you cross the line. But, you know, you were the guy pretty much up front all race long here tonight. After, of course, the unfortunate incident there with the 99. But talk about your race overall. Definitely a pretty good one for you tonight.
Yeah, you know, this win wasn't about me. This win was about the Casey Motorsports Group. You know, they had his hand in this win just as much as I did. Willie, Cody, Jarrett. Unfortunate with what happened to Jarrett there. We just got lined up bad coming out of the corner, and it just turned him the wrong way. But that teamwork there was undeniably some of the best teamwork I've ever been a part of. You know, us four, we got the first four spots, and we basically controlled the race and kind of got to do what we wanted to do there. And it was going to be basically set up for us to decide it amongst ourselves. So that was textbook teamwork right there. I'm proud of all of them. This wins on them. Oh, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you grabbed your fifth win of the season, and you were fifth in points to start out tonight. But obviously, that's going to move you up a couple of spots here. Finish ahead of the guys that you need to finish ahead of course. It's the name of the game here. But we go to Homestead next week. One of the more exciting mile and a halves on iRacing for sure. Lots of options there as a driver. Kind of what's your thoughts going into Homestead next week?
Yeah, Homestead's a lot of fun. A lot of grip at the beginning, and then it starts to slicken off a little bit, and you can run the wall. You can run the bottom in 3 and 4. It spreads out. Everybody gets spread out pretty good. So it's going to be a manage the tires kind of race, and you know, we've been pretty strong on the mile and a half. It's going to be tough to beat Kale, and it's going to be tough to beat Willie. We're in a must-win situation here, so we're just going to go out and see if we can't qualify up front, lead as many laps as we can, and see if we can't walk away with a win and a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of cards going to have to fall your way, though, for next week, though. But any thoughts, shout-outs you want to give as we let you go celebrate your win here tonight, fifth on the season?
Yeah, you know, thanks to all the partners that support this series, you guys for doing the broadcast. Glad that we could put on a good show for you. Got exciting at the end. And you know, again, shout out to Willie, Cody, and Jarrett. I can't thank them enough for all the hard work that we put in to make this restrictor play program a success like we did tonight. So thanks to those guys. This wins for them. And on to next week, see if we can't do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll let you go here, celebrate your win here tonight. Congratulations once again. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Well, that will wrap things up here tonight. Colin, your thoughts here as we oh, well, he's gone. Never mind. Well, that completes it for tonight here at Daytona. Definitely the most exciting side-by-side racing we have seen here in quite a while. But tomorrow night, we have the Sim Speed Shop Xfinity Series from Chicagoland, I do believe. So that'll be some exciting racing. Of course, you can catch that here on MaxSpeedTV. But of course, everybody, remember, stay safe and have a good night.